Most people approach studying for the LSAT the wrong way, thinking it's all about doing more questions. But success on the LSAT, getting a top score, isn't about how many questions you do, but rather how deeply you learn from the ones you get wrong. Today, I'm going to share with you how to transform your LSAT prep by reviewing in depth using a simple but powerful tool. First, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, the LSAT is probably different from every single other standardized test you've taken up to this point. It's not about memorization or about repetitive practice without a goal in mind. It's all about thinking critically, spotting patterns, and refining your approach to the questions. Because when you miss a question, it's not just a mistake, it's an opportunity to learn something new, to uncover the gaps in your reasoning and build a strategy to fill them. The key is not to be afraid of mistakes, but to embrace them as your best possible teacher. The goal here is you get the questions wrong now, so you're not getting them wrong on test day. And this is where the wrong answer journal comes in. This is where you can systematically record the questions you miss, analyze why you got them wrong, and learn how to avoid similar mistakes in the future. It's a key component of the Socratic review method, which is the framework we use at LSAT Unplugged in our one-on-one coaching programs and small group coaching programs, helping you learn from your mistakes, shift your mindset, and improve in your weak areas. If you're interested in finding out more about how we can support you in our coaching programs, you can check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. Now, the reason a wrong answer journal works so well as part of your review process is that mistakes are rarely a one-off. There are patterns on the LSAT and patterns in the mistakes that you're making. The LSAT tests the same thing again and again, and so the same types of errors will pop up in your practice tests and your individual sections. And so by logging and reviewing your mistakes, you'll start to see trends in your weaknesses and you'll be able to better identify them to improve them. You also want to shift your mindset by brushing off mistakes as just being tough questions that anyone would get wrong. Instead, you want to recognize them as areas where your reasoning process needs refinement. And finally, the wrong answer journal can help you turn your study sessions into an ongoing experiment. By tracking your mistakes, you'll be able to then create strategies to address them. So let's talk about how to build and use your journal. A wrong answer journal doesn't have to be fancy. It could be a physical notebook, or it could be a Google Doc or a Google Sheet. Whatever you're doing, you want to include the question number, question type, and the section it came from, the practice test it came from, logging every single question that you get wrong. And now for every single question, you want to break it down. Why was the right answer right? Why was the wrong answer wrong? And what caused your mistake? Did you misread the stimulus? Did you misunderstand the logic of the question? Did you fall for a trap answer? And what specific step will you take to prevent this mistake in the future? It is not enough to look at the answer key and say, oh, I get it now. How could I have been so dumb? You've got to articulate your thought process. And this is what we do at LSAT Unplugged in our classes and coaching programs. We force you to articulate your reasoning so that you can avoid making the same mistake next time around by identifying the patterns in your mistakes. You then want to review and revisit your mistake journal weekly, if not daily. It's critical to make sure that you are internalizing the lessons learned, not just memorizing the answer to a question that you've already covered, but will not see on test day. It's all about quality over quantity. The number of questions that you complete is less important than how you approach them and review them in depth. If you're doing hundreds or thousands of questions without proper review, you are burning through valuable limited practice material and wasting your time. You run the risk of burnout and score plateaus. So instead, you want to slow down and focus on mastering the reasoning process. For example, if your mistake journal reveals a pattern of struggling with certain question types, you don't want to keep grinding through practice tests. Instead, spend a week doing untimed drills, focusing on that particular question type, write out the reasoning for each question in full detail, and check if your process and your accuracy changes week by week. A targeted approach like this ensures that you're actively fixing your weaknesses, not just hoping that repetition is going to fix them. Now, you want to squeeze in your study time wherever you can to make sure that you're allowing sufficient time for review. Whether you're busy with work, school, family obligations, life in general, maximizing your LSAT prep time is key. That's why at LSAT Unplugged, we create a personalized day-by-day study plan for all of our students, laying out when to drill questions, when to do timed sections, when to take full-length practice tests, and of course, review your mistakes in depth as test day approaches. We create these plans for every single one of our students down to the day, factoring in days off so that you don't burn out, and making sure you can make the most of even short bursts of study time, because they will add up over time and they'll help you reinforce what you're learning. Now, remember that every question that you get wrong is an opportunity to learn something new. If you're getting every single question right, you're probably not approaching tough enough questions. Missed questions are proof that you're pushing your limits. So when you get an answer wrong, remember that you're just working on material outside your comfort zone, and that's exactly where the growth is going to happen. Don't neglect to do tough questions, because on test day, of course, you'll be facing them. Get them wrong now so that you don't get them wrong on test day, and train yourself now to identify and flag the toughest questions. Make your best guess in the moment, move on, skip them, come back to them later. You don't want to risk getting bogged down or stuck on any single one question, because every question on the LSAT is worth the same. You don't want to let one hard question derail your focus for the rest of the exam. That's a trade-off that you can't afford. Now, if you'd like my help creating a wrong answer journal, logging your mistakes, implementing the Socratic review method for yourself in your own LSAT prep journey, creating a personalized day-by-day study plan, my team and I would be glad to help you out. You can check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.